I hope I'm not actually live right now because it doesn't say that I am. Hi, guys and gals and everyone in between and all over. Ah, I have um, felt very inspired and called to share my healing experience with you, to share um, my experience, my strength, my hope, where I came from, what happened, and what it was like then, what happened, and what it's like now. Because I hope to encourage you guys. I'm also very proud of myself and want to share, you know, like that it worked. I want to inspire you to keep going and don't give up and don't quit before the miracle happens. They really do happen. The spiritual awakening, healing journey is wild, and it's all over the place. It's not a linear path, and it can get really discouraging and it can take a really long time. So I want to hop on and share with you guys, um, my experience. Andrea says I'm all over the place right now, but I will watch all of them soon. I need to hear your story. Well, whenever you can watch, my love, I hope that I inspire you and, fill you with some hope because I know that it can be a, a very scary and difficult journey. And I'm just sending you so much love and light right now. So much love and light. So much healing. I'm seeing you showered in the pink mist of the compassion of the universe. I'm seeing you, Andrea, in your wholeness, in your light, fully healed, happy, joyous, free, and just feeling great and right in your path. Because I know that it's possible because I'm experiencing it. And so the thing is, I want you guys to know that everything I suggest, I have done myself. I don't just, you know, shoot things out of my ass and blow smoke up yours, So know that everything in my story and every suggestion that I make comes from like a place of experiencing it. And first, before you hear my journey, I really encourage you to understand that your journey is going to be special and specific to you. And that's the beautiful thing about healing ourselves, is that it's highly personal, and you know a lot of it is about tuning into what feels healing for you and what doesn't feel healing for you. Sometimes medication felt healing for me. Sometimes medication felt like death, like a death sentence. So, where did I come from? What was it like? Well, first, let me tell you, I'm 40 years old. So I was born in 1980. And oh, a heads up, my story includes like trigger warnings, and so I just want to let you know that. Let me turn up my little Healy device. So I grew up in a lot of us, grew up like this. It's really not that special of a story. I had drug addicted parents, alcoholic parents, and families on both sides. Um, my biological father was mentally ill and very dangerous, and my mother was dealing with what we didn't realize was Lyme disease at the time. So it affects you in mental ways. And so she was dealing with a lot of that stuff at that time. And when she was still here. And so, um, oftentimes I was left with babysitters, and through babysitters, I experienced sexual abuse early on, which really shapes the mind of a child. And I'm just now at the place where I'm facing that reality. Um, because the thing is, the way we heal our body is by facing all of the shadows and the beliefs that we have inherited or allowed ourselves to be indoctrinated with. I use allowed ourselves very loosely. A lot of it was against our will or unbeknownst to us. And so I dealt with watching, my father beat my mother putting her in ICU. He would kidnap me and leave me by dumpsters. It was between the ages of 1 and 5. It was really tumultuous. We moved around a lot. Um, and from the ages of 3 to 5, I was being sexually abused by my babysitter's daughter. And so then we moved and life got good. My mom remarried and things were good for a while. She was dealing with some drug addiction and alcoholism. So there was physical abuse and emotional abuse. And so I acted out as a youth. And by the time I was 14, I was out on my own. I was doing drugs and alcohol and running away. And, I did the rehab thing, and I had been in and out of rehab, and just kind of was a really wild child, right? Like, and followed in my parents' footsteps of drug abuse and unhealthy relationships. Um, Homelessness had been a very long thread in my life. So um, I just didn't feel safe in the world. And, those of us who are raised in abusive situations, one of the things uh, we end up believing is that the world is not a safe place. And so the world was not a safe place for me at that point. And very young, I began dealing with dissociative identity disorder, which basically means that when I experienced these traumas of physical abuse, or emotional abuse, or things like that, my brain did this magnificent thing, and it split, and it creates kind of a side of yourself that can handle that trauma for you. And so that began a very long life of mental illness and mental manifestations of dis-ease. And so I was on, I did the medications thing very early on. I was born with Lyme disease, and I began dealing with um, physical manifestations of Lyme disease by the time I was 5. So at that time, they were telling the doctors or the doctors were telling my mom that nothing was wrong and that I was just looking for attention. And so she treated me as such. And um, that began the invalidation, I mean, it was just like a real shit sandwich as a kid. And so I spent very much of my young adult life just lost in drugs and alcohol, in and out of AA, in and out of things like that. and just getting sicker and sicker and sicker, and uh, began having real physical manifestations, not just mental manifestations of illness, but real physical manifestations of the Lyme disease. Well, Lyme disease kicked in when I was 5. I began having nerve issues and couldn't really feel from the waist down. And then when I was 6, I had thyroid disease. And then when I was 7, my gut was attacked, and I would go to the bathroom. This is TMI, but whatever, this is what it was, you guys, is what it's like. It ain't pretty. I would feel the toilet with blood as red as my hair, and they thought I had cancer, and they did lots of testing on me, which is still, I'm working through that medical trauma. Um, One of the things I want to do for detox is enemas, and I haven't been able to bring myself to do them because of trauma experience that I'm still working through. Um, and so I didn't have the skills, the coping skills to emotionally navigate what I was experiencing, and I was disassociating. And so then my body decided to get my attention, as it will. Most of us are not guided to lean into our intuition and listen to our body. We're not taught that the body talks to us. We're taught that that's some mumbo jumbo and some new age bullshit, and it's a hoax and don't buy into it. But that's really what it is. And so since I wasn't addressing these emotional issues, in 2003, I got into a really bad car accident, which brought on fibromyalgia. Which, if you don't know what that is, it's your body is just you feel like you've been hit by a bus. It's absolutely relentless and horrible. And so then started prescriptions and pills and, pain medications, and then it was horrible. Um, but little did I know that the car accident was going to be my saving grace. I have many saving graces. And so by getting in the car accident, I ended up going to chiropractic care. I went to see Stacy Hudock Prosha. She's amazing, and she's in Sanford, so if you're in the area, you should go to her. And she taught me about, you know, like opened my eyes to the whole vaccine thing. Here she was, 40 years old, and had never been vaccinated, and was healthy as all get out, and gorgeous and wonderful and vibrant. And so that started to kind of open my eyes. And as the years went on, and I saw that the medical field really wasn't able to get rid of the pain, they were able to kind of throw prescriptions at it to numb it or to distract me from it, but they weren't able to get at the root of what was causing the pain. They just wanted to mask it, and masking it was really causing more problems mentally, and I was developing addictions to the prescriptions that they were giving me. I was having side effects from the prescriptions that they were giving me that was causing me to take more prescriptions, and this is the cycle that they get you in, right? And so I was in that cycle. Starting at 2003, I ended up dropping out of college. I just couldn't keep my shit together, and I had basically given up on myself, and I was dancing in strip clubs because it was pretty much the only thing that my brain could handle at that point that could make me enough money to supply my habits and afford rent. Maybe I could afford rent, and that didn't bother me if I couldn't afford rent. I would do really um, I would do things that I wasn't proud of for my fixes. And so life was just really shitty. But the seed had been planted that I could heal myself. The seed had been planted that I could heal myself when I was a kid. My dad was very into metaphysical healing and stuff, and so like that really planted the seed. But then the car accident and meeting Stacy kind of like, um, like really helped that blossom. And it was just enough to make me think like maybe I could heal myself, you know? Maybe these doctors don't know everything, you know? Blasphemy. What do you mean the doctors don't know anything? Oh, you're just trying to get people sick or whatever. No, I promise. You have to listen to my story and follow your own intuition. I'm not responsible for your choices. I can just tell you that the system is rigged so that you feel powerless. Um, because if you feel powerless, then you're gonna try to hook up to whatever energy source is around you, and that energy source right now is dangerous and depleting us, and so we really need to disconnect from that source and become sovereign and self-sustainable, and understand that we have the power to heal ourselves. And there are things to help us heal ourselves. For example, I'm a theta healer, and there's a hypnosis. I mean, pick out what feels good to you and go for it. That's the thing, is you have to listen to your intuition. And like, I think that was probably the biggest thing that I started to do. Well, first it got worse. In 2006, I had my first child and developed postpartum depression, pretty hardcore. Was hospitalized, in and out of psych wards, which is absolutely horrible. Our mental health system is not set up to help people heal. The state run programs are not set up to help people heal at all. They really are meant to keep you stuck to that system, and that worked for a long time. So I was in and out of the hospital. I was paranoid. I thought people were going to try to kill me. I thought there were snipers that lived across the little pond that were going to shoot at me if I had this little um, part of my blinds missing. And one day, my friend Angela, who's my children's godmother and one of my best friends, she was over, and I remember we were sitting on the couch, and all of a sudden I start shifting positions, and then I went and sat under the window, and she's just like, "What are you doing, boo?" And I was like, "There's a sniper that is across in the other apartments, way across the pond, and he is going to shoot us, and this is the only space where we're safe." And I fully believed this in my mind. And so, the people around me began to realize that there was something on. But then I got pregnant again with my second child, and all of the symptoms went away, and everything was fine until I gave birth again. And that's when shit really hit the fan. So in 2008, that is when, I mean, shit got real. Oh my god, you guys. Holy shit, it got real. And 'cause I had my second son, and I went very quickly into postpartum psychosis. First of all, the birth itself was beautiful. We had a beautiful home birth with Micah. I had a water birth. Everything went well for him, but I hemorrhaged afterwards. And so that after was very traumatizing. Um, Perhaps I will share the details of that fun experience another time. So then, I went into Crazy Town, which now I understand was my shamanic initiation. And this is where the story gets really good. Well, it gets really bad, but it's really good that it got so bad. Um, and so remember through this that the way we Westerners look at mental illness is so wonky. Um, there are cultures outside of America that view having a psychotic episode as a shamanic initiation. It is the spiritual awakening. It is the process of having a spirit outside of yourself attached to your energy field. You know, in other places, these experiences of having a psychotic episode are um, treated with reverence, and they are given a mentor that has gone through it. And so that's part of my mission. That's part of the tiny home community that I'm creating for people abandoned due to Lyme disease, is that those who are having the psychosis side of waking up will be walked through it with grace and dignity and understanding that you're to be treated with so much respect for going through the very hard work of having that psychic awakening. It's very painful. And so the way that showed up for me was I began having visions of murdering all of my friends in my living room. And it was horrible because if you know me, then you know that I don't ever want to hurt anybody. And it would be wild. I would just get up and go to the bathroom, and I'd be sitting in the bathroom, and then all of a sudden I would see myself in my mind walk into my living room very calmly, and I would grab a knife from the butcher block and I would just walk around and stab everybody. And that was terrifying for me and for my friends once I told them how I was feeling, because I was walking around and I was like, I don't think something is right, you guys. I didn't say anything. I was just so scared. And so then one day, I asked Carlos, and I told him, I'm having these visions, and I'm having all of these things go on. I think something is wrong. And he said, yeah, I think so too. And so into the psych ward I went. And that, they just made it worse. They just made it worse. They threw drugs at it, and you know, uh, they it was horrible, you guys. But that's not my point. My point isn't to share how horrible it was. My point is to share where I'm at now. And so I went through this issue with psychosis, and I had completely given up on myself, and so I wouldn't stop trying to kill myself. I thought the most merciful thing for me to do. Oh, I forgot to mention that my biological father killed himself when I was 11. And so I had a parent that had tried to kill themselves, and had killed themselves, and I had a parent that was, for all intents and purposes, mentally ill, and I found it to be more merciful if I would just kill myself. That way my kids didn't have to raise their mom, a sick mom, and deal with all of the vile things that I would say in my sickness at the time. And so I wouldn't stop trying to kill myself, and the medications that they gave me made it worse. And uh, and then one day I was in the psych ward, and this woman came in, and she shared her journey about how she healed herself. And I was like, wait a minute, you can come back from this? And that was really the beginning point. um, and that was a few years later, probably in 2010. I got sober, and I started going to AA and all of that, and that's an amazing program that really began me waking up and learning how to be a decent human being, and not a total selfish you know energy parasite, basically, is what it felt like. And so AA, does a lot. So that's my first suggestion. Even if you are not dealing with drug abuse or any kind of addictions, just look up the program steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. Um, because those steps really do walk you through a lot of healing. And so I worked through the steps of AA with a sponsor. And I suggest also having a sponsor, even if you're not doing it for AA stuff, because you can do the steps for anything. You can do the steps for anything, you know? Pick something that you're having a hard time with and just, put that in place of alcohol. One of the steps is writing down um, everything. And I think, and then the next step is telling someone, a stranger, a priest, a best friend, or whatever, but sharing your deepest, darkest secrets with someone. Because when we do that, most of the time, we think the person's going to be like, oh my God, you're a horrible person. And most of the time they're like, yeah, let me tell you what I did. So we're all, everyone thinks that someone else is more wounded than someone else, and that's not true. We're all here for healing, and I believe that that's really true. I believe that a lot of us came here to heal, to take on all of this shit from the ancestors and the DNA and the past lives and the historic level. I mean, all of it, the core, all of it. We took all of it on so that we can heal it. And as we heal it, we physically raise the vibration of the planet, and it affects everyone around us. And then we no longer rape and pillage, and it's a beautiful thing, and as we raise our vibration. So this is the thing, is like, as we raise our vibration, um, not only do we get to see that we heal ourselves, but we get the honor of watching other people be inspired. And so so I got the idea that I could heal myself. And so I came home, and I do not recommend doing this, but I remember what it was. They recommended electric shock therapy because I was hospitalized in the psych ward all over the place in Chicago. I mean, I've been all over, and and they had me on all kinds of psych meds, and just nothing worked, and it made it worse. And so then they um, recommended electric shock therapy, and that's when I was like, no, that's not my story. That's not gonna happen. And now it's illegal to do that in most places. So, um, so yeah, I came home, and I got myself all of my medications, and I started to, you know, try to do yoga and meditation, and I just kind of started to grasp whatever was around me. Um, and I started to get better. And then as my mind started to get better, my body started to get worse. And I believe that that um, I I was exposed to mold, because it got my physical body started experiencing pain again in 2000. Yeah, 2010. We moved into an apartment, and it had mold, and mold with Lyme is lethal. And so then began the descent, to the point where I wasn't able to walk. And then my friend Amber Murphy um, came and did a um, emergence care session on me. And within 3 days of working with my energy the way she did, I was up walking again. And I was just like, there is something here. And so I just kept pulling at all of the threads, and I was following, what the universe was bringing to me. Um, and it would come in the form of people or books or thoughts or whatever. So it's really important that you get in touch with your intuition. And the way you can start today getting in touch with your intuition is to play with it. Play games with your intuition. I would do things like, listen when I was getting those nudges before I left the house to bring the umbrella or grab that book, or, don't, like, or when I would leave and it would be like, you left the iron on, I just started to follow these little nudges. And through doing that, I developed this kind of trust with this inner guidance that I was receiving. And, this took years just to practice that. Sometimes it's a really slow journey. So remember not to give up on yourself. That we didn't get this way overnight. This has taken even generations for us to get like this. And so sometimes it does take time. Sometimes instant healing is possible. Sometimes it takes time, and that's okay. We don't want to give up on ourselves during that time. And so I worked um, on 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 that for a long time, and just learning and then in 2015 I woo, that's when I really went into the dark night of the soul. And if you don't know what the dark night of the soul is, it is the process where you shed all of your shit. You're in the cocoon and your essence is liquefying, and it is rewiring and rebuilding, and it is uglier than all get out. And so I went into my dark night of the soul right after I had come out of the psychotic episodes, and healed that. I healed that by building a life that I building a personality. That's the thing, is we get to build our personalities. Like, listen, if you're in a place and you don't like yourself, you can change that. It's not like we make it so hard, but it's really just a choice to be the person that you want to be. And if you're not able to just be the person you want to be, then that means you've got to look at the bullshit that's preventing you from being that person. And for me, it was selfishness. For me, it was, fear of success, fear of failure, um, fear that I couldn't do it alone, fear that I deserved to be punished. That was one of my beliefs. I believed that I deserved to be punished, and so I kept generating experiences in my life where I was punished. And theta healing moves all of that out of the way. Um, and so um, I moved up to Maryland. My mother was really ill with Lyme and was dying. And I was in a relationship with my domestic partner, Carlos, who you can find him as Charlie Prince on here, and he is an actor. And so you should go check him out and support his page and everything that he does, Charlie Prince. Um, and you should watch his Bloodline episode in season 3. Anyway, there's my little shameless plug. At the time, we didn't know that he was experiencing Asperger's. And if you don't know what Asperger's looks like, or if you don't know that someone has Asperger's, it can really come across as narcissism. And so for me, having, trauma with a narcissistic mother, the way that I was perceiving the situation was that he was a narcissist. And so I was like, I've got to remove all of these blocks that are keeping me from wellness, and this relationship is toxic. So I thought I had to leave it. And little did I know that he is my twin flame. Many twin flames don't make it in a relationship because you trigger each other, and you trigger each other so that you can see what is being healed. And if you don't know that, then it just is really a shit sandwich. And so we went through breaking up and getting together and breaking up and getting together, but this is one of the times where we broke up. And I went to Maryland and I met this dude again from high school that was really toxic and really gross and didn't take care of himself and didn't clean and didn't love himself and was just a greasy, gross mess. And I thought, oh, here is someone that I can make better. Here is someone that just needs love. And maybe if I love him enough, then maybe he'll love himself enough to take care of himself. And so we got married. We got married like 6 months after being together. It was ridiculous. The wedding was horrible. Everything was an omen. Um, but I was going through something really hard. I had just been diagnosed with Lyme disease. They finally figured out what it was. But it was actually diagnosed years earlier using a quantum mechanics device called a Cyoscan, and it's very similar to the Healy, which, if you're wondering, that's what I'm hooked up to now. It's a quantum wellness. I've made other videos on it, so you can look it up. So that's what diagnosed me in the first place. But I had to get a diagnosis from a regular doctor, so I thought. And so I got that, and I began Lyme disease treatment, which was putting me into organ failure because I didn't understand how important it was to detox while you were going through treatment, and the toxins were trapped in my body, and so it was overloading my organs, and they were shutting down. And so I was going through that, and then I needed a hysterectomy. So in January 2016, I got a hysterectomy, and that really exacerbated everything. And I was in so much pain that I was begging my then husband to kill me because I couldn't do it myself. And I didn't want to take pain medications because I didn't want to be that monster. I'd worked so hard to get off of them, and so I didn't want to take them. And I had said, like, I'll kill myself before I'll take another pain medication again. And of course, he didn't want to kill me, which surprises me, for everything that we were going through at the time. Um, and then my uncle died, and that really messed me up. And then, flash forward a few months, um, my husband left one day and wouldn't come home, and I was so sick. It was just so toxic, and it was emotionally abusive, and it was just horrible on every level. But it was what showed me how sick I was. So he was an angel for me, um, because he showed me like how little I was willing to accept and what I was willing to take my children into. I had no self-esteem. I had no belief in myself. I had no direction. I just didn't know anything. And you know, that was in 2016. So that wasn't even that long ago. And then, um, I just kept like, oh, and then my best friend killed herself. And then, I was homeless for a while. And then my mom died. And like all of this stuff was just really drowning me. And so I was like praying for a miracle. And I got it. And it came in the message of Barbara Marcinia, who channels aliens. And it was the whole idea of vibration and raising your vibration. And that is the biohack, guys. Like, that is the way to fast track your healing. If you are experiencing physical symptoms or emotional symptoms and you want to feel better, then the way to do it, the way to biohack, is by raising your vibration. And you raise your vibration doing really simple things like going outside and grounding with the earth. This isn't like hippy dippy bullshit. This is real stuff, and there's scientific evidence to back it up. you know? So grounding ourselves, doing yoga, and the importance of doing yoga or moving your body. Find some sort of way to move your body. um, it detoxes us, first of all. It um, helps, endorphins and all of that. But on a spiritual level, many of us are detached from our body. And so by exercising, doing something, it brings us into our bodies, which brings me to another thing. It had begun to be unsafe to be in my body at some point. And so again, a lot of us get this message that it's not safe to be in our bodies. And if you have the belief that it's not safe to be in your body, then your life is going to be a fucking wreck. Oh, sorry. I'm trying not to use the F-bomb. Your life is going to be a wreck because you're not going to be conscious about your beliefs. You're not going to be conscious about what you're thinking. And so what you're going to manifest is going to be all willy-nilly. It's going to be all over the place, as well as your emotions. And um, so I learned to biohack and raise my vibration, and then I met Abraham Hicks, which then helped me with reprocessing my thoughts. And the reprocessing your thoughts along with the belief work is where it is at, and that's the secret. That's really the secret. And the thing is that people will find the law of attraction, and they'll find the vibration that all is one, and then they'll stop there. But you really, that's not it. You really can't stop there. There's more. There's like 31, I believe, spiritual laws of the universe, and learn them. It's not just the law of attraction. It's not just vibration. It's also things like, um, taking inspired action to show the universe that you want this thing, whatever it is, to appear in your life. And so that's what I did. I was talking to my friend Amber Murphy, and I was like, I'm dying and I'm afraid. And she said, you are dying and I'm afraid. And I said, I don't want to die. And she said, then make a different decision. And I said, surely it can't be that easy. And she said, yes, it is. And so I was desperate. I was like, well, what do I have to lose? And so I made a different decision. I said, okay, so I choose to live. And she said, okay, so now you have to take the inspired action to show the universe that you choose to live. And I was like, well, what does that look like? And then I started the journey with self-love. And I was like, learning to love my body for what it was, even though it was painful, and speaking kindly to my body. And, I also found Kratom. And kratom is a natural pain reliever, and it relieves the pain enough that it allows my body to be a safe vessel to be in. And so then I'm able to anchor and ground in my body. And when I'm able to anchor and ground in my body, then I'm able to be conscious of what I'm believing and what I'm doing and how I'm responding and all of these things. And when we can be conscious of that, then we can really have like a big play in what kind of a life we're manifesting for ourselves. And it's really beautiful. And so I started to do simple things because, like I said, I was really sick. I was homeless. I was bouncing around with 2 kids, and I just started following my intuition. I was working on building a community so that I wasn't alone. Um, and I was focusing on shifting my diet into organic. Diet does play a big part of it, and it's because of the vibration aspect. The preservatives and the GMO food, it's a lower vibration food. It's not even, the GMO food isn't even real food. Our body doesn't recognize it as food. It fills us up, but our body doesn't recognize it as food. you know so those things really really come into play. And so I've done these things to build a life, build, a kind of person that I actually love. And so now I'm in this place thanks to energy healing and theta and some herbs, that I've gotten from some good friends like my friend Kelly at Coyote Coyote's Herbal Medicine. The parasite cleanse has been, life saving. So but I found those things by following my intuition. This is my Healy device. This is my quantum wellness device that helps me. I just ran my nerve program. Um, but anyway, so by following my intuition, it led me to all of these little things and people and experiences that I leaned into and I listened. And so that's the thing, like you really want to listen. And if you as you raise your vibration, the messages become clearer and clearer, and there are things to assist you to raise your vibration, like medicinal mushrooms. If you're dealing with depression, microdosing is amazing. Doing, higher doses, also like 5 gram doses, is really amazing because them help you move through the emotions, and these emotions become blocked in our body, and we're taught to, disassociate or run away or whatever. And so to get our attention, these emotions, they become a more dense vibration and begin to manifest physically. And so I've healed my body by um, going through the trauma and healing the trauma, and then healing the trauma raised my vibration, and raising the vibration really does release the pain in the body and in the mind. And so I am seeing miracles, and not only am I getting the miracle of getting to live a healed life, where I feel balanced, um, and whole, and I know I can heal myself. I feel in my power. Not only do I get that, but I get to now help other people do that for themselves. And that to me is just the biggest blessing. I get to show my children what it looks like to heal yourself, and to um, choose healthy things, and to take control of your life. And that is just incredible. And now I am doing some really, really big things in my life. I'm opening a practice. Like, I was so sick 5 years ago. I was trying to raise awareness for chronic illness, and I started this calendar, and then I got so sick that I wasn't able to put it out. And guess what, guys? I'm putting it out. It's going to be out this October. Um, I am Oh my God. I went and I did a flamenco dance class. It's one of my inspired actions to show the universe that I want to be in my body and in my power. It's my chosen way of moving my body and moving the energy through. And it was a 3 hour class, and I was able to hang. I had to take a couple of breaks, but I was able to hang. That is a miracle. 4 years ago, I was in organ failure. 4 years ago, I couldn't even walk across a room to get to the bathroom. 4 years ago, I was homeless. I was depressed. I was suicidal. I hated life. I was hopeless, and through these series of guidance that I got through following my intuition, and, just having faith in myself. Like, have faith in yourself that you really can heal. Um, and if you're wanting to heal and you're, looking for some assistance, call me. I do theta sessions, and if you're local, I have a quantum wellness device that can help um, treat or help relieve the symptoms of Lyme disease and parasites and bacteria and nervous issues and sleep issues and mental issues and I mean all kinds of stuff. So um, reach out to me, please. Do not allow finances to be a reason for not reaching out. Um, there is always, a way to work out an energy exchange, and it doesn't always have to be money. Sometimes a hug, or maybe some gluten-free vegan treats or something like that. You know what I mean? And so everyone, this is my philosophy, everyone is worthy of healing, everyone is worthy of time and love and attention, and part of the way I was able to heal was that people held that space for me, regardless of my income, and so I want to offer that as well. I do also offer love donations. I just really believe in allowing you guys to experience the session, and then afterwards you can give what you feel called to do. And some people feel to give me $100, someone gave me $150, and some people can only afford $5 or $10, and that's okay. You know what I mean? um, it's about energy exchange, and so don't let that hold you back. Call me and set up a session if you're looking for relief from the life that you're experiencing. I feel confident that I can walk you through the path to feel the freedom that I'm experiencing. um, my relationship is healed. My relationship with Carlos has come full circle, and now we are able to live together. I have healed the narcissistic mother wound, so now I can see what was going on for what it was, which is Asperger's. The experience with Asperger's and not narcissism. And so now I respond with that perception and with understanding and compassion, but I had to take a break. I had to go and do that work. And so understand that sometimes you have to take that work. Oh, you'll also go through a period of time where everyone leaves you, and you'll completely be alone. And that period of time is so painful. That's what inspired me to open the community that I'm working towards. And just in case you haven't heard enough about it, I am working on building a rehabilitative, transitional community for those that have been abandoned due to Lyme disease. And in this community, they will live in tiny homes, on the property that I own, and they will experience the opportunity to get their permaculture design certificate, which will teach them how to grow their own food, how to forage, how to feed themselves. And permaculture is such a healing philosophy. It's not just about gardening, it's about mind, body, and soul, building community and partnership. And it's just so loving. And everyone will learn how to grow their own herbs and how to use them. That way we're not dependent on the medical system. We will do, yoga and of course theta sessions and quantum healing and just all of the amazing things. And when each person graduates, they will graduate with their own tiny home or camper or van or whatever. That way they never have to be feeling abandoned and homeless again. And so this is my dream, and this is what I'm working towards. And the healing that I'm doing is finally, like, it's paying off, and I am doing these things. I had to have some curses removed. Again, Michelle Orwick is who to reach out to. Also Elena Rosa, and you can get tons of resources at like Spiral Spectrum in downtown Orlando. you know, tarot cards. Use whatever feels in alignment for you, and stay away from whatever brings about shame or guilt or tells you that you need to look somewhere outside of yourself for validation or healing or any of that, because the answers and the power is within you. It is within each of us. It is about developing the confidence to claim that we can heal ourselves. And so I am so proud of myself, and I'm so grateful to be at the place where I'm sharing the healing part of my journey. Um, and I really hope to inspire you that you can heal yourself. You really can. And it just takes baby steps. It takes sometimes just like baby steps and patience with yourself while you're taking those baby steps, and remind yourself, that how you are thinking about your experience is manifesting your future experience. So if you keep telling yourself things like you're sick, then that is going to be what you are going to experience. And it takes a lot of faith. It takes a lot of faith. It has taken 4 years of faith for me to believe that the energy shifting that I was doing was going to manifest the results that I wanted. And so it's scary to take that leap of faith. So I just really hope that me sharing my journey can inspire you guys and give you that little bit of hope, that little bit of hey, like mustard seed of willingness to believe in yourself. Don't quit before the miracle happens. The way you know something is truth is it will feel good to your soul. It will feel like relief. Something that is not in alignment will cause tenseness in your core and in your chest. Start going by that, even if it doesn't make sense. There have been amazing healers that I've met that I didn't feel good about, and I didn't understand, why wouldn't I feel good about this person? They're a healer, they help all of these people. Well, it's not personal. Not everybody is for everybody. Some people do really amazing things and it's still not for you. Like a lot of people in my circle really do ayahuasca and it doesn't call to me, and that's okay. It's not a judgment. Each one of us have to go towards what feels good. And in each moment, stay present. In each moment, that's where we have the control. In each moment, we can pay attention to what thoughts are we having. Are we stuck in shame? Well, we're going to want to shift our consciousness to get out of that shame, because if we're stuck in that shame cycle, then we're manifesting things of that vibratory level in the future. And so I just really encourage you guys to listen, to lean in, to follow those things, to detox your life, detox your diet, detox the people that you have around you. You are a reflection of the people around you. So if you have people around you that are gossiping and lying and doing drugs, you have to understand that while you're around those people, your vibration is going to dip. And while your vibration dips, you're susceptible to all of the consequences that come with that vibratory level. And this is physics, not spirituality. So you're going to shift up or you're going to shift out. You know what I mean? Basically, that's my motto: shift up or shift out. Encourage people to raise their vibration to meet up with you, and stop lowering your vibration to go down to other people's levels just because you're afraid to be alone. Face that shit. You know what I mean? In the aloneness, that voice within, you're supposed to be listening to that. You're supposed to be listening to that, and the things that it's bringing up, I know they're uncomfortable. Sit with them and heal them, and you will feel better. You really will. You'll feel much better. And if you need guidance, want guidance, then reach out. Reach out to me, or reach out to another healer that resonates with you. I highly suggest getting off of the chemicals. I highly suggest uh, ending relationships that are toxic. If they are meant to be, they will come back around. I suggest detoxing your diet. I don't necessarily recommend going vegan because I don't know, everybody has their own body type, but I will say that if you are healing, you want to go vegan. Because it is, again, vibration. Foods that are grown in the sun are of a higher vibration, and when we kill an animal, we eat all of that fear and all of the stuff that's associated, as well as all of the adrenaline and all of that stuff with the meat. And so I highly believe that if you are wanting to heal and detox, you are going to want to at least do vegetarian. At least do vegetarian. Although vegan, I mean, you can get to Miami going 50 or 80. It's really up to you. Either way, you want to remind yourself that you're healing and you're doing the work, and because you're doing the work, you are going to feel better. What you tell yourself about your experience dictates your experience. If you tell yourself you're powerless, you're powerless. Um, yeah. So I just wanted you guys to know that you've seen me go through hell, and now I want you to see me on the other side. And I feel amazing and incredible, and I'm living a life that is beyond my dreams. My family and I, we do yoga together and meditate. I never thought that that was going to be possible. My partner and I, we have compassion for each other and hold space for each other, and are sensitive, and also are sovereign uh, in our own responsibility to take care of ourselves, and instead of hold each other hostage, and responsible to care for the other person. I mean, I live an amazing, abundant, beautiful life. The universe provides for me on every level, all of the time. My needs are met all of the time. It's really amazing, and it started with me shifting my beliefs, you know and through theta sessions, I'm seeing other people shift their beliefs and experience miracles. So I hope that I've inspired you. I hope that I gave you some hope, um, and just know that you're worth it, and you're loved, and I'm sending you love wherever you are. Don't give up on yourself. Please don't give up on yourself. Pray for divine intervention, and you will get it, even if you don't believe. Even if you're skeptical. That's what happened to me. I was like, whatever, listen, I'm desperate enough. If you're here, if I'm supposed to be here, this is it. I need a divine intervention right now, or I am going to kill myself. That's how serious it was. And boom, I got it. And my life changed. So, lean in, shift up, shift out. Choose love in the face of adversity and calm in the chaos. I love you, and I love you so much, and I hope that you choose love for yourself. And message me with any questions. Bye.